Hello, everybody. This is Paul Pun. I'm super excited. Today, we're going to be talking about how to integrate three of our applications together. All right. So, this is going to be Artistly, VideoExpress, and of course, our CloneVoice AI. So, the way this is going to work is as time has gone on, right? As we make changes and make updates to applications, we want to make sure that each application has its own benefits in a way, right? And I'll kind of explain that in a nutshell so that you can kind of get an idea of it. So I'll quickly share my screen here so that you can see this workflow in a way. All right, so let me pull that up here. Let me remove this and add that in. All right, cool. Let me bring this up here. All right, cool. So as you can see here on my screen, so we're going to be talking about how to integrate these three applications, right? If you simplify this, if you think about it, and we bring in as well CloneVoice AI into the mix as well, right? So even if you talk about talking photos, so CloneVoice AI will do all kinds of voice, music, and everything. Then we have VideoExpress, which can do all kinds of cool videos. I'll get to that later on. We are coming up with an update for that soon. And then you got talking photos, just lip sync style videos in particular, and also music videos and all that. And you got Artistly, which can do anything to do with images, right? We can do image workflows, soundboards, you can do storybooks and everything else as well. So one of the things that comes up then is, hey, I don't want to have to log into another application here. I don't want to log into another application here. Can you make these applications talk with each other to kind of create workflows for me, right? Create entire videos in a nutshell with clone voices, your face on it, lip sync, that kind of thing. Or even, for example, you take the images from Artistly, then you add voice from CloneVoice, then you create a nice storybook and turn that storybook into a video with VideoExpress. You get the point. There's multiple ways to do this, and this solves the biggest issue these days. What's happening in the industry right now is so many applications out there are wanting to charge you more for more stuff that you want in. So let's say, for example, you have a voice cloning application. They will say, hey, we do voice cloning. You pay a subscription for this and credits for this. And now you want an extra video creation part, pay credits for that video generation algorithm or model or whatever. Or you want, for example, the ability to now create images as well and turn those images into videos, pay extra credits for that. And what's happening is once you add up all this and you're a serious user who's like trying to build your business or trying to get more traffic, leads, and sales, whatever you want to do, and not just doing it as a hobby, it can go into thousands of dollars a month and things are not slowing down. So here, not only by integrating this application, you save more money, you're gonna save a lot more time, but also you're gonna actually have results getting stuff, projects done, fully done. And you can actually be proud of the work you're doing without having to log into multiple applications and dealing with all the other confusion that can follow with that. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today, step by step. Now, the key thing though is as we update the applications, right? And which I'm going to get to later on once Ali goes over some specific step-by-step workflows that you can use. For example, VideoExpress's update is coming up next week, a brand new update for that one. That will elevate this integration. Okay, that's the beauty here. As CloneVoice updates come in, that will elevate the video creation because you have better music, better voice. As VideoExpress comes, you got better lip sync, better video, right? Better video quality. That'll elevate things. As Artistly's update comes in, that means better images, better image to video workflows. You get the point, right? And as Talking Photos update coming, you got better lip sync and better, for example, longer length lip sync style videos or better music videos or consistent character videos. You get the point. Every single applications, once they talk to each other, the beauty is that as the updates are made, it's automatic. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to do anything. They work together perfectly. Okay. So now that I've kind of laid the groundwork here, let's kind of roll in and I'm going to bring in Ali here in a way, and he's going to go step by step and talk about these things. And also I'll come back in after I see your questions and stuff like that and talk about also some of the updates we're making in our applications, keeping this workflow in mind, okay, this integration in mind, and how that will make a big difference to you because our applications are one-time payment and then you get free updates with it. And also we don't do any subscriptions or hidden credits or like monthly subscriptions on top or tokens and all that kind of stuff. That means even if you got VideoExpress a couple of years ago, the updates are free. Same thing with all the other applications. So that means when they talk with each other, you can imagine, right, the impact we're talking about here, because you don't have to buy 10 other tools, you don't have to integrate all that, and more importantly, these updates will automatically be applied. All the integrations will be automatically applied and be better and better. So in a way, it saves you a heck of a lot of time, money, effort, all that kind of good stuff. Okay. Now, the prerequisite for this, just to be clear, is you're gonna need to have all access accounts for these applications. So what that means in a nutshell is that if you need to fully maximize the features, right? Obviously, because if you want to create videos and you want to create clone voices and music and you wanted to do high, like for longer length lip sync videos, high quality songs, videos, music videos with lip sync and dancing videos and replicate motion, all these features to work hand in hand, you want to make sure you have all the all access account, not the basic accounts, right? Just the only thing that would be required to make this whole thing function. We made it such that, anyway, since we only charge one-time payment, since we only make sure like we don't do any hidden upgrades or upsells or anything like that, we want to make sure that you have all the features unlocked basically, because once you have that, then this will be streamlined. You don't have to say, oh, do I need to buy these extra tokens or these credits to make this work? It's all integrated. Okay, that's the key thing I wanted to mention here real quick, so that this is the only step. Then we'll talk about how you can do the next steps, right? So how we go ahead, I'm gonna mute myself here just for the sake of clarity here, and then you can go ahead with your workflow.
Okay, so welcome everybody. All right, just make sure. Okay, so let's do a quick audio check, everybody. You know how technology can be. Can you? So as you're watching this on YouTube, it is live. There will be a recording, so you can watch this at any time. But can you just kindly let me know in the comments section that you can actually hear me, and it's coming through clearly also. So don't be hesitant. I can see so many names of everyone joining around from all over the place. So I'll just give a few moments so we can see. Okay, loud and clear. Fantastic. Okay. So everybody said all clear so far. So that was very kind for Paul to mention those aspects that, yes, you are going to need these three apps to work in unison if you really want to get the most out of them. So they have to be all access, right? So as we jump before we jump into this, what we're going to do, let me just get this up. Okay, before we jump into this, we do a little bit of housekeeping, as you know. So if you're watching this on YouTube, just kindly make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're always alerted. Now, secondly, I'm going to put this link on the screen, and that's going to be available to you. You can actually access this for completely free. It's the Inner Circle, ponder.com/Facebook. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is Inner Circle, where all the applications, all members, and even people that may not have the app can actually come in and they can see the kind of projects that are working, what other users, real world case studies of what people are actually creating. The other great thing is that people are actually showing their workflows and some of the things they're working on currently, and all behind the scenes. So this group's got over 84,000 members and growing, so you can actually jump in. Now, the reason I want to also show you this particular group is this will also link into what we're discussing today. Some of the output, some of the examples that you can look to create, whether it's any type of singing, dancing, replicating motion, hot topics such as nursery rhymes, children related content. We're talking about music was a hot one, and you'll see this. So some of the items that we're going to talk about, some of you that are veterans that turn up every week, it may be a little bit familiar. So have a little bit of patience, as there'll be others that are watching this for the first time, and it just allows you to understand how you can actually link all of them together. Okay, so what I'm going to do, as we scroll down, what you need to remember, and I guess straight away when I came on this, if I come here, so we see a pending post, and I'm pretty sure something straight away off the bat. This is there. Something God's created a music video. This is going to be posted in the group. So this will be both talking photos, or even you can use VideoExpress, but also with CloneVoice. Okay, it's got music and everything, so you can kind of see the quality people are producing. So straight off the bat, if I come back here, one of the best ways, you can obviously scroll down, but if you really want to filter down and find out what people are working on, select media. Now with media, as you scroll down, you can go to videos. Okay, they obviously with Artistly does create graphic design, images, etc., etc. So I want to go to videos, because when you go to videos, these are all going to be video creations, including not only VideoExpress, but even such items like this is clearly going to be Talking Photos AI. So you can kind of see the output that's being created. So this will be a unison of both Talking Photos AI and even Clone Voice. So people are actually making high quality, realistic music tracks, okay? And it will come with a lip sync, everything like that. So you can actually come in the group yourself and actually see real world examples, because we got a lot of comments, even some people that may not have one of these apps. And as you're watching this, there will be links to these apps in the description field, so you can actually go and look at them at your own discretion. So as you come down, you can kind of see the quality that people are actually producing and see the examples, because some people are sometimes thinking, hey, can I see a couple of examples before I jump? So the reason I've come here is the example of, let's say we were looking at nursery rhymes, for example, for children. Hot topic, very trending. And one of them that sprung to mind was this one right here. So if I select this one, what was fascinating about this one is they've actually shared their YouTube channel. Okay, so you can see, like, this is a simple like 3D Pixar style video, and it's about 20 minutes long. So you can make long length videos using these applications. Obviously, you can merge them. We've got timeline editing, etc., etc. So if I go through, you'll see there is an audio track playing in the background. You can come in the group and check this out yourself, and you'll see a various number of clips that will complement the audio track. Now, one way I'll show you how to do this is through Artistly and using VideoExpress. So we'll look at how to set that all up. However, I just wanted to give you an example so you can have some kind of we're managing expectations. You can kind of see the examples that are being created here. Now, this person has been kind enough to actually show or share their YouTube channel. So it's called Boogie Woogie Kids. So we've jumped over to their channel. Check this out. Okay, let's go to videos. So they actually start building videos out here. If I go to the popular, let's have a look. Look at this, 18,000 views. Okay, for this particular one. So you can see how this application is getting used and what's being created, and how easily it's, you can create high level content, and you got thousands of views just from using something like this. Okay, so you can see there's a drastic difference from these quality to older ones like so. Okay, now what's fascinating about this is that within Artistly, which I'll just quickly show you, I don't want to jump the gun right now, but we have the nursery rhyme section. So by having this, we can actually link it using CloneVoice AI, drag and drop, and it'll create all the images, etc., etc. And then putting together all the scenes for something like this becomes very easy. So there's no challenges or difficulties. So it doesn't matter about user experience. Now, you may be thinking, okay, this child related. Obviously, we can do adult content as well. It doesn't need to be just child related or cartoon. We've got different styles that you can use from. So you're not limited by that. You can even make, human realistic, animal, or 3D cartoon, and even things like with Artistly, depending on the type of scenes you want to create. If I go to the Art Illustrator, you can actually designate some of these styles depending on the output you want to align with the images that you create for your music storyboard. So this is, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but say, for example, if I want to create a music track, or if I go to the AI design agents, if I want to create a music storyboard, the images for nursery rhymes, what you'll see here, look, storyboard style. So, it's giving you some examples, but if you really wanted to spice up and actually have something more specific, then yeah, you could come to the AI Art Illustrator and you can have a look. So it'll give you some good examples. And all you'll have to do is simply go and copy the style that you want. Okay, it's completely up to you. So then the corresponding images will be created in a style that actually represents, or the style that you want to create for your the visuals. So having said that, if I just come back, you can see some other more examples. We've got here, look, this little chap here with the monkey jumping around. Okay, and you'll have the music track. So I'll definitely urge you to come in the group. Make sure you join completely free, and you can see what the styles or what people are creating. Okay, even when it comes to, look, the gentleman here with the instruments. So it'll create you hyper realistic human singing videos. Will have instruments. You don't have to have instruments. And it's not just limited to guitar. Obviously, you can play different types of instruments depending what your user case is or what you want to select. And even objects, look, you've got different types of objects. So when you've got all of these apps working together, then yes, you can make high-level productions. And like Paul rightly mentioned, a lot of these applications now, you may have access to it, even like a a limited run, but in order to keep generating more, whether it's videos or um, images or designs, then yes, you will have to pay for credits. Okay, that is the reality of it. But for this one, you get to create unlimited designs. Okay, it's all inclusive, including updates, believe it or not. Okay, so you're not going to be restricted in any way, shape, or form. And you can see, all the different styles. Let's have a look at this one. Again, both with Talking Photos AI, and you can see all of the characters in the background. Okay, I used Talking Photos to create the stage, not finalized yet. So he's created all these characters there. They've all got musical instruments, and we have a music track playing in the background. So it does really go above and beyond. Okay, so having said that, let's move on and let's look at some of the process. So what I aim to do is we're going to go through some of the integrations with all of them, and then I'll show you some examples of some of the tools or the features, how you can actually then replicate some of these examples that are being shared. So it will be a good refresher, but also show you the applications and some of the kind of workflow. If you are creating a music style video, some of you may be familiar, some of you may not be familiar. This is how you would take, the audio track, how to use, text to speech or CloneVoice integrations, public library, all of that stuff. So yes, as you're on this, if I'm playing a song, then yes, you won't hear it. So that's why I advise make sure you jump into the group, and you'll be able to hear it. Okay. So what we'll do now, we'll jump straight into this. Okay, so I'm just seeing the comments. Okay, that's fine. Now, having said that, let's get back onto course. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the very first one. Okay, so first one is going to be CloneVoice. Okay, let me show you CloneVoice right here. So dashboard. So CloneVoice will do a number of different things, but I think you kind of get the gist of it, what it does. If you don't, and this is your first time, the link will be in the description. I'm sure the team will send it, the page, so you can actually see what it's about and what it does, all the functions, the features. But it's not limited to. So some of the things I'll mention are, it will actually, it can take your own voice, maybe a client voice, maybe a friend, family, whatever it may be, and you can actually clone your voice into any other voice, including it can be then translated into other multiple different languages. Okay. Very simple and very powerful indeed. Now, moving on, you can change your voice. Okay, if you want to use the voice changer, you can do that. Creating audio. So you can take any, well, it's like, yeah, you can take any audio and you can change it into any voice, and you can even have it translated into multiple different languages. So very, very easy. And also, it will allow you to generate script if you want that. Voice maker, that will give you, just imagine either you want a professional voice maker or creative voice maker, depending on the style of videos you made, maybe a documentary, narration, or maybe you want to create something more fantasy, more educational, entertaining, then you can actually create a unique voice. Say, for example, for the creative voice maker, if I was creating a child's storybook video, then I could create, maybe a goblin speaking, maybe a parrot speaking, or maybe some kind of fantasy animal, and vice versa. I could have a human, or maybe an alien. Or you can see there, look, some examples: alien, fairy, pirate, wizard. So it's got a whole host of functionality. So it gives you the ability of doing that. And some of the other things are, there's two other important things, because this comes up and it gets missed sometimes. Can this create instrumental music? And yes, it can. Okay, not only that, you can actually sing in your own voice. There is that functionality there also. Okay, and let's look at, here we go, create instrumental. So here, sometimes you'll go online and you see certain sites that you can actually purchase, instrumental tracks, but generally you'll have to pay a license in order to use it or utilize it on your projects. But here you can obviously you have that it's copyright free, because you will have access to that. It's all included under commercial access, so you can put the name and then you can describe the sound you want to generate. Okay, and then you have the timeline there. And that's it. So non-instrumental or instrumental, you have a choice of both. Okay, very easy. And then, like I said, yes, you can create sing your own voice. You could do podcast styles, voice change, etc., etc. But this is the key one I want to mention right now: is to create music. So you can actually create music. Whether I think this is probably the easiest option, the most simplest option, is AI generate. All you have to do is explain what you want the song to be about, and that's it. You can actually have it as that, and then the AI will go off and start building your song based on that. Now, last week, if you'd never watched that video, I actually showed how you can create your own music channel, your audio, etc., and you can go watch that if you want. But that's a simple process. Select a style, language, and you are good to go. So I will show you how to do that, but let's first look at integrations now. Okay, so with CloneVoice AI, you will have to go to the profile tab here, which is located to the right. Okay, so you'll see here, look, it'll have your name, and we're going to settings. Okay, under settings, as you scroll down, because I know sometimes you see these things and can be a little bit daunting, so don't feel overwhelmed if you're watching this or you have to watch this later. In the tutorial section, also have a video that will help you through with the workflow of how to set this up. But what you're looking for is this section here. It's called the API key. Okay, now don't worry about the text. Your main key thing is here. Look, your API key. Now what you need to do, you need to take this key. Okay, you start with the S and a K, right? So you can copy this. So we copy this right now, and then we have the choice now of going to a multiple different number of apps. So let's say we go to VideoExpress first in line, right? We go to edit profile. Let me do that again slowly so you can follow me. So at the top, all the way to the top, you'll have your name there. Obviously, there's admin there for us. You'll select edit profile. Now scroll down, okay, until you see this section. You'll see, look at this, VideoExpress API key, Artistly API key, and CloneVoice API key. Now here it's empty. So this was left empty so I can actually show and demonstrate. So I'm going to paste this. Okay, that's the key there. And we go save. Okay, and at the top, your profile has been successfully updated. Likewise, if I'm using Artistly, then I go to Artistly, and guess what? It's going to be the same setup. Okay, so everything will be similar. You go into your profile. So everything's been designed to make this as easy as possible. That every app you're going to go to is going to have the same model in terms of when you go to the profile, you scroll down, you can see, check this out, look, API information. Okay, now you're going to go to the API key. You'll copy the API key. You'll come back to VideoExpress, and you will paste that in there. Okay, and then here you'll probably see VideoExpress API key there blurred in. So don't worry about that just yet. So these are the main ones right now: Artistly API and CloneVoice. So those are done now. Now, if we come back to Artistly, you'll see as I scroll down, you'll see CloneVoice. So if I went to CloneVoice now, I get the API key. I come back to Artistly, and I can paste that. So this will also link with the features of creating, our flipbooks. Okay, when it comes to the story flipbooks, that will allow that integration to generate the voiceovers for the flipbook, so it's an animated video for you. So that's it. So in the comments, just let me know, has that been simple so far? Okay, just let me know, has that been simple so far? Because I know, everyone's at a different level of grasping certain things. I'm not fast at certain things. I might be slow in certain things. So the main thing is that you're following. Even if you pause this late and come back, you can. Now with Talking Photos AI, it will be the same thing. You go to My Profile. When you go to My Profile, check this out. Very simple. It'll be the same CloneVoice AI API key and Artistly. So that's all you have to do. So as long as you've got these applications, we go to Artistly. We go to My Profile here, Profile, go API key, copy and paste. It'll be the same setup. If I go to CloneVoice, as I showed you before, come to My Profile, okay, scroll down, My API key, and you are good to go. Okay, perfect. Everyone says yes, they understand. Okay, fantastic, great. Now we've done these integrations, right? Say we've done, let's start with Talking Photos AI, or which one do you want me? Actually, let me ask you, which one would you like to actually quickly have a look at first? Talking Photos or VideoExpress, just to make sure everyone's alert and it's a little bit more interactive. So you tell me. It's going to be the same thing. We'll get to both anyway, but I want to just make sure everyone's up on their feet, and those that know also, then feel free. Okay, I've got straight away, the first reply was Talking Photos AI. Okay, fine. That's no problem. Okay, yeah, I see them all coming up. So Talking Photos AI, for those that are watching for the first time, some people are probably watching for the first time, and its capabilities. So I'll show you some of the capabilities of it. Okay. However, alongside that, like I mentioned, in the description field, or alternatively, what you can do, you can check out if you go to ponder.com. Okay, go to ponder.com, or alternatively, in the description field of this video of the live, you'll see all of the links to all the applications we're discussing, and plus I believe there will be a discount code called Secret 10 now is applicable to all of the applications. Okay, so ponder.com, you can go to that and check them out at your own discretion, at your own time. Okay, so there's no rush on that. So coming back now. Okay, so with Talking Photos AI, if I go now and select create video, now this is updated. Okay, this is now version 3.5. So that will be indicated here just by the top left-hand corner, version 3.5. So some of the examples I showed you in the group of singing videos, there's even dancing videos, even replicating motion. This will now allow you to do it in such a way that the imagery or the output is human-like. Okay, so this has been worked on extensively to get it to the level that it is, and we can, the team behind the scenes, Paul, etc., are working to continue even to upgrade it and make it even better for every single one of you. Okay, now if I go to singing, this is actually probably going to be a good one. So you got a couple of options here. You got close-up, high quality. You got a close-up, high quality, normal, or high quality. Okay. Now, if I go to any one of them, let's just go to this one here, and I go to, so this is really important because this will link into Artistly. So when you're generating content or you're generating images that you would like to use or convert into animated videos, the key here is that those images, which I'll show you, should be either 16.9, okay, typical YouTube dimensions, TV dimensions, or 9:16, which is typical to mobile responsive devices, or YouTube, Instagram Reels, TikTok, etc. So for this one, as an example, if I'm going here, look, create new character. Once I select it, this is where Artistly now becomes really important. Now, prior to updates, generally the user would have to put their name, not their name and email. They'd have to put their gender, right? They would have to designate the gender of the subject that they want to create via a prompt. Can you see that, everybody? So they want to generate a character. Now, in order to generate a character, first you designate, do I want a male or female? And what is the output that I want? Do I want it to be human? Do I want it to be 3D cartoon? Or do I want it to be an animal? Once that's been defined, depending on the purpose of the content that you're creating or what your project is, either personal or client project that you can use this for, then you're going to go and enter a prompt. Now, the prompt would ideally be, the gender, maybe the build, the size, the hands. You are describing exactly what you want for the AI to create in terms of your subject singing. Okay, so all of this right here now, this walkthrough will be similar to all of the other functions on here as well. Now, the difference also here is that this will just create a character from AI. Now, you have something called consistent character, where you could then create your subject, but apply a character, the facial features, somebody similar. So I could basically put myself onto a creation that we make in any scene, any environment, etc. However, the demand was, as many of you will be, you want complete accuracy when it comes to a clone. You want to clone, maybe you want to clone yourself, or you want to use a picture directly as it is without the AI trying to recreate and make it consistent, right? So you can be specific, laser focus on creating a single image and repurpose that and bring it to life. So one of the powerful updates was you can actually now use your library directly without the need of AI to generate anything for you. So you'll go to use directly from the library. Now it'll give you some information here. Then typically it should be one by one, but let's have a look. And what you would do with this update now that we've done with the integration with Artistly, okay, you'll have a folder here. Can you see that, everybody? My Artistly images. Now, if I go to my Artistly images, it's more than likely some of these images won't work because they're not in the right dimension. It should be close up. But Talking Photos can or does have the ability of cropping if need be. So see this image here that we took. Okay, this is from Artistly, and let's go and have a look. Let's go and check. Okay, so if I go to Artistly, so I want you to understand now we can come to Artistly, okay, and we can create any generation of images you want of any subject, any environment, just like we saw on the Facebook examples where he created a scene, he's got backup singers, dancers on their instruments. It doesn't matter. So what, depending on whatever, industry, on whatever type of content or project you're creating, you can create those images here directly in Artistly. Now, instead of you downloading them, uploading them, jumping around from folder to folder, now you can create these designs within Artistly, and then we can extract them directly within Talking Photos. Now, it sounds relatively easy if you've done this manually, but I promise you, depending on the level of work you're doing, if you want to speed up or accelerate results and progress, and if you're, delivering from clients, That time adds up. If you really think about it, you want to do it in such a way that it becomes so easy and effortless without jumping around and downloading a folder. Because I know if you, even from me, if I did that, it's a headache of downloading, putting in a folder, then going back online, then uploading to do this. Da, 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 da. I don't want that headache. I want to remove that step because I want to be kind of streamline the process, right? So if I come back now to, let's have a look at Artistly, and we go to personal designs. Okay, you can see, look at all these characters now. Okay, so if we go all the characters as we go down. Now, this is the fascinating thing. There will be designs here that we haven't seen in the folder, and you may be thinking, okay, why? Because what we need to do, if we go here, look, see tools. So this is the key now. This image is only here, or we can use it because of this one important step. And the reason I didn't want to mention it, because I wanted first to see if anyone was going to say anything, but because you're going to remember this now. So see where it says tools. Select that and look at this. The second option, import from Artistly. Now, if you don't do this step, that folder will be empty. Okay. And like I mentioned before, the images that are required are either 16 by 9 or 9 by 16. Okay. Like so. So here we have all these images. Now I could go here and let's say if I like, well, I could take any image, it's not a problem. But say I want my one character. Let's have a look. Let's find a nice, good one that's kind of front facing. So we've got all these different images we can use from. Okay, let's say we take her now. Okay, let's have a look. So once I take a look, select import. Obviously, you can do more than one. You can see that. I can select as many as I want. I'm just going to select one, but you get the gist of it. I import. So there we go. It's now being updated. I can go back here. Let's go to same process. I'll show you very quickly. You see how quickly that was. See, once you understand the steps, the workflow becomes very quick. New character, use directly from the library, scroll down, my Artistly images, and voila, there you go. She's now visible because we selected it, we imported it. Instead of downloading, uploading, finding a folder, creating a folder. And likewise, we also, as you go down, this will be for another step, but you see, look, my CloneVoice audio. Okay, so your content will go there as well. So if I go back here now, let's just put that image back in there. My Artistly images. And here we go. Next. And see. Oh. Okay, so see, that was 2 close up. So let's go back to this gentleman here. I want to go back to him. That's why it's important. You have to get the dimensions right. If you don't, then it's a problem. You can see, look, this has gone in straight. That's not an issue, and it's not going to recreate, try to change anything like that. It is as is. I select next. Now look, I can import audio, or I can go to CloneVoice and I can import CloneVoice audio music. And check this out. Directly, this was the second integration. So any kind of music that I create now using CloneVoice, so if I go create music, okay. So you see my audios. This is what I literally just made this like 3 hours ago. This was for a child example. But if I go there, you can see that's present there. If I go back here, look, bounce, bunny hop. So let's go for my breakup song. Let's have a look. Female singer. You can see how many we've got. We've got some great ones there. Every step. Okay, German version. Every step. Okay, that's fine. So we'll go for this one as an example, okay? And select. Now what I can do, I can trim it, I can change it if I want, or I can play it. So that's what I was doing. I was just making sure that's correct. I select next, and I say, project name, okay, project name, music, video. And maybe if you want, you can even put your, if it's for a client, you just label it client X, right? Okay, and render video. So the steps that I've shown you are going to be more or less identical in each flow. Some of them they won't, which I'll show you in just a minute. So if I do dancing, you'll understand why. look, 16 by 99 by 16. Create new character. You can see, look at this, it's going to be the same. Choose from library depending on what you're using. If I come here, let's just go and see. Ideally, you want to get, the full body scene if you're going to use as is, but this one, it will generate instead of using it directly, because it has to recreate the character with their full body essentially. Okay. Now, once you've done that, once you've kind of created it, let's generate it. Then we'll just select motion. Then you can choose an audio. That could be, some kind of music track, etc., etc. And that's it. It's done. So we'll give a few moments for that. And again, this is, I don't need to go spend money going online, creating, buying images or anything like that. I can all do this within Artistically itself, within this system, instead of jumping around from application to application. It's all within house. That's why it's so important. By having all of these applications, anything else becomes redundant. You don't need to go anywhere else. You don't need to go different platforms, sign in here, sign in there. You can all do this with one straight flow. And there you go. So what we've seen now is that this character now has been recreated by Talking Photos, but it's generated the entire torso. And another key thing is, like, you've got to pay attention to even the background. Okay, it's even put the visuals of the background, extended the scenery, and it's generated this, using its own brain AI. That's why it's very scary. So next, once you've done that, you can then assign a dancing motion for that character. So even though there's a female on there, obviously, it's gender neutral. These are just to model the dances. Let's just go, and as you're doing this, you can actually watch. Right, you can see, and with the audio, you can obviously do. Let's go for the previous example. Okay, that's fine. Select, and next example X. Okay. So I just want to show you a couple of them. We don't need to go through all of them, but I want to show you just the key ones. Okay, well, not the key ones, they're all key. And replicate motion, again, you'll see the same thing. And where this will come in with replicate motion, same stuff. You can select the style that you want. Do you want it high quality speaking? These two are for speaking, or dancing. So imagine podcast videos, talking videos, or dancing videos, what you see sometimes on TikTok, those viral videos. You'll assign them the aspect ratio, generating character. You create, and then you can assign a motion. So if you have a video of a human dancing, any kind of trending video, if you have that file, you can drag and drop. Heck, you can even record yourself dancing. Okay, I know many of you practice your dance moves in the mirror every night, so record it, put it on record it on your mobile phone device as an MP4, and then upload it here, and you can actually create any character dancing, and no one will know that it's you, it's your dance moves. Okay, so you can definitely do that. So you'll have replicate and swap, where you can actually depending on the footage that you're using, you can either retain that subject dancing in the same environment, or you could recreate that or keep the same subject but recreate the environment. You could change the environment completely different. So another rule of thumb is you can actually just hover over this and it will explain it better. And plus we have tutorials on this just to explain. Okay, so you can keep everything as is and then you render. Same thing with human video. You see all the steps are going to be the same. High quality close up, high quality look, aspect ratio, generate character. With this one, you can use direct from the library, choose audio. So the flow is always going to be easy. And I think many of you are already fully aware of this, and you can see how easy this is. Some of you also want to go to the fantasy section where you can do animals. That's another huge one, animal fantasy. And also you have 3D cartoon styles as well. Okay. So here your 3D cartoon, 2D, or convert the human to 3D. Okay. You could convert yourself essentially into a 3D version of yourself. Or maybe, if you're doing a book, content, friends, family, your children, whatever it may be. Okay. And then once it's done, if you go to my videos, you'll see these are some of the things that are processing. So you can see some other examples that we've done, especially if you've seen them, we've done them in the past, you can see some kind of replicate motion that we were doing here. Now you can see the crispness of this video. I mean, we don't need to hire an actor. We don't need a studio. We don't need none of that. We can remove the middleman. We can remove any high level expenses. And even there's captions in there, okay? And some of the other versions you've seen when we were creating. And remember that we've got previous training on this that you can access through YouTube channel, even the resource document for this, the stuff that you can actually create. So this was really high quality training that we've done when we looked at this. Let's see, look, some of the great examples. So before we move on to the next, let me just show you another one. So, UGC content, that was fine. I think these, there we go. So you can see some of the singing videos, okay? Obviously, you won't be able to hear it, but look, you can see different instruments. This looks like a harp, guitar, a violin. You'll have other ones. You can put them on a piano. Look, this one was a good one as well. And obviously objects, okay? And you can actually model other movie stars. So that's done. Is that okay, everyone? Is everybody aware? Are you happy with that? I'm now going to move on to VideoExpress, okay? And I just want to show you. Oh, no, I want to go to Artistly first, and then we'll go to the next one. Okay, so as long as everybody's with me so far. So if I go to Artistly now, well, like some of these features, especially with the integrations, remember when we went to Profile, some of the integrations were, we have CloneVoice, etc. But one thing I want to show you with this one, if I go to Create Design, which I thought, is quite a very powerful tool. Let's have a look. Okay, AI design agents. These are two of the these are really powerful features here. I mean, there's other ones obviously you can use with the integrations, but I like these two, right? So you have music storyboard if you want to create music style videos or the images and then convert them in VideoExpress. But you also have nursery rhymes, so you've got kind of two choices, right? So with nursery rhymes, you can see here, look, configure your settings, upload your rhyme audio. Now, in order to do that, I would jump over to CloneVoice AI. I would go to create music. Okay, then I would explain what is this about. And look, I went into ChatGPT and I said, look, just give me some information. This is what I want to create. Really simple process. I didn't need to do anything. Okay, so look, it's giving me the lyrics. Okay, now it hasn't. No, let me rephrase that. It's not giving me the lyrics, but it's giving me here what the song is about. Now you don't need to make this long. You can actually put one line or two sentences. But if you want to sculpt it into what you want, then of course you can make it a bit longer. But ChatGPT you can use, you don't have to. It's there for you. And then we've got the style. Okay, look at this. It's got the style. Alongside that, you don't have to use that. You've got your own versions here, and you can actually put whatever you want, and then you can enhance it with the AI. Now, once I've done that and I'm happy with that, guess what? I just generate lyrics. That's it. And remember, you don't just have to create child-related content. Nursery rhymes. Obviously, you can do adult-related content. And then next, I said, look, we need a name for it, isn't it? So it's giving me bounce hop bunny. Don't have to. There we go. Next, generate music. That was it. Simple process. We can see one I made earlier. Now this relatively does bake in the oven very, very quickly. But now once we've done it, what could be the next steps? Okay, the next steps would be, if I was doing this for the first time, once I create the audio, I would simply go ahead and download. Now you can see, look, downloaded successfully has now appeared at the top right hand corner. And as I said, that look, the one that we've just created now is also been rendered. So you can see, look, it is rapidly fast. So where's the time is, we're saving time here. Things are getting generated very quick. You're not sitting around for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours for your music track to generate. We're not getting an orchestra, we're not getting a keyboard out, we're not doing the mixing, production, post-production, cleaning up and all that stuff. Everything's getting done for you, literally right now. So once I've done that, I've got a download of it. So look, it's saying upload your rhyme audio. All I have to do, especially if I'm using Chrome, check this out. I can either browse on my desktop, but look, just drag and drop. Okay, drag and drop. Now what I want to do here, remember what I mentioned, you don't have to do this, but I want to use VideoExpress to bring these to life. So the key here is I want to go by 16 by 9 if I'm using it for YouTube related content, or 9 by 16. So this is what you also always remember. Otherwise, this won't appear in VideoExpress. So these are the dimensions that you must select and designate if you're going to be using some of these features. So 16 by 9 and generate images. That's it. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone will agree right here that you could actually follow these steps easily, as I showed you. Very simple steps that anyone can follow. Okay. And straight away, you can see, look, these are now processing. Now, before, similar one, I actually created these images also. So you can see how quickly you can do this. And whilst we're waiting for that, if I go back now to CloneVoice or CloneVoice AI, let's have a look. So we've got all these other songs, but let's have a look if I can find something really good. Sure, I left something here. Here we go. Okay, this is a song, right? So I'm going to take this one whilst we're waiting for the other one to render. So I want to show you two versions. So here we got these ones are now getting produced. That's fine. So if I go back to AI design agents, we saw the nursery rhymes. Now look at the music storyboard. Okay, so this is the music storyboard where we can create a music track. So very quickly, storyboard style. Now, if you remember, I showed you could actually, if you wanted to, go to the art illustrator if you wanted kind of, some examples of what you wanted to create in terms of the artistic effect. So say, for example, something like this. Maybe I want to look at mystical fantasy. I don't know, something like that, right? I can come back here now, agents, music storyboard, and I can go paste that in there. That's it. Next, I would drag and drop my audio, but this one is not child related. Again, music track. We've gone here. We go to create music, and this could be about love story, heartbreak, maybe fine Vikings, whatever it may be. Once I've done that, I generate images. Same process. One is designated, the engine or the AI understands. One's going to be for the nursery rhymes, some more child related content, and one is going to be for music tracks that are music related. So it will generate the content that's congruent to the type of theme or the style or genre of music. So, there's a lot of magic, I guess, that goes behind the scenes where it'll actually shift through the music track, even the words that are getting used, and it'll then corroborate in images that are linked to the track itself. So check this out. So remember, we've done Mystic. So as an example there, you can see, look at that. It's not bad at all. And that was not difficult whatsoever to do. So you can see. So what's happening now, even with the Hot Bunny songs, is that there's a story there that starts, and this will go in line with the production of the music track. So when we put this on the timeline, hey presto, people will follow. Remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. This is where sometimes we overcomplicate. We think, it has to be the perfect thing. Yeah, you can do that if you want, but look, sometimes it's about quality and speed and efficiency, isn't it? Just get it out there, and then you can make improvements as you go along. So as you go, you'll see there's a sequence of events that matches the story or the song and the lyrics. So, it's taking them on a journey as you'd expect in the song. But, like we mentioned as well, you don't always have to use the entire storyboard. You could have one automated image or a repeatable image, okay, that you can use. So once this is all done, great. What happens next? Now, if I go to VideoExpress, this is what's important. If I go, remember, edit profile, our key here is Artistly, right? And even CloneVoice API. These are the two key ones here. Once you've done that, the key here is to the column on the right, you need to select import media. Once you select import media, we're going to have a number of different columns to or number of features that we need to go through. One of them is import from Artistly. Once you select it, you will see now, check this out. See all those images that we just created. This is why it's so important. We can now extract them and select them, and then we can actually import them into VideoExpress directly. So look, I don't need to jump around or take all these files one by one, put them in a folder, upload all of that stuff. I don't. I select, look, I'm selecting all the ones that I want. Let's just do up to there as an example, and I import. Okay. Now, what VideoExpress will do intuitively, it'll actually generate the folder for you that are designated specifically for images from Artistly that you can access directly, and you can access them directly using whatever features that you intend to use. Say, for example, if I go to create with AI and I go to image to video, right? I select an image. As I scroll down to the left at the bottom, can you see this? My Artistly images. Now, what do? I go here, and I can see there's so many different images. But okay, the bunny image starts from here. I choose. Now, straight away, look at this. My video action prompt has already been created. Now, can I change this? Yes, I can if I want. I can go mold it, but I'll be happy with it because I know the output is going to be good enough. Now, you can actually extend the length of it from 4 seconds to 8 seconds, depending if you would like to do that, or keep it short, it's completely up to you. Once I've done that, I create video, and that's it. I go back to choose image, quickly scroll down, because obviously you get faster at this as you go along. I go to the next one, choose. Straight away it's updated it again. Create video. Again, choose. I go to the third one in the row. Create video. Oh, but remember you're going to do 3D, but you get the gist of it, right? And as you go through, it will become very easy. It's like riding a bike. Yeah, it might be a bit slow, but once you get the, once your finger has that memory muscle, what it's doing, what it's clicking, then it becomes very, very easy. Once that's done, you can go to the media library, scroll down, go to my AI videos, and hey presto, check this out. They are now rendering. So the next thing is, okay, what about our music track? What happens to that? Or nursery rhymes? What do we do next? So once they're done, we need to go to media library. Once we go to media library, scroll down, go to, import media. Go to import media and select import from CloneVoice AI. Once you do that, you may not see it here because there's a drop down. See where it says audio? I'm going to select this. You won't actually see it on my side, but there'll be a drop down. It'll be audio, music, podcast, audiobook, sound effect. I'm selecting music. Now look at that refresh. Now I've got, look at this. This very first one I've highlighted is our bunny hop, okay, song. What do? I select the one that I want. I can find any song that I want as well. Say there's a music hop mystic track that we've done. Select imported. So those two, because of those integrations we replace, we're happy. Remember, this will happen. You can actually use this for the audio that you record, your clone voices, your narration videos. It's all the same. Doesn't matter that it's music, but you'll have, podcast type audio, normal audio, or sound effects that you can extract. Okay. Once I go to the media library again, and now I go to my CloneVoice AI. Check this out. My 2 audio tracks are there. What do I do with them? I simply drag and drop onto the timeline like so, and then I just put my clips on there. Okay, again, go to my media library, my AI videos. You can see they're generating right now. But if we use this as an example, let's just use it. This is what I would do essentially, okay, while it's getting generated. Okay, say they were all the clips that we created. That's it. I'll just layer them and layer them and layer them. Okay, because there's a sequence of them. Obviously, there's going to be more, but that's how it would be. And here we go. Look at this. Okay, remember this is extended, so this will go part of the song. So as that's done, look, I'll just lay that there. Let's have a look. Okay, and that's it. Now we can also do this. If I go back to import media and I go back to import artistly, remember we had all of these. It's going to be the same thing. If I go import those mystic style videos, so remember it doesn't have to be adult. It can be children related content. It could be adult, 3D, animal, fantasy, whatever it is, depending on what you've generated. The same process. Now go to create with AI, and I go to image to video, and hey presto, my artist images, and there we go. Okay. I can go to human or photorealistic. I always like photorealistic. And then I can bump the length. That's fine. Create a bit longer video. Makes it easier for me. And that's it. I'm not going to go and do the rest of them because I think you already got the gist of them. And you can see these ones are done. Just keep adding them to the timeline, adding them to the timeline. Just let's pretend there was loads of them there. And there we go. Okay, so having said that, you've seen the integrations now of CloneVoice AI. Okay, you saw how we did that, the method we did with that, even create the music track. Then you can align it with artistly. How we can easily use some of the functions and features such as nurse rhymes, storyboard, even the AI image designer. If you're creating with the AI image designer, and you're creating a male office worker front facing, okay. I don't need to make it too complicated because I'll tell you why. Because I can always go to here. Look at this. This will enhance the prompt. So I don't need to make things complicated. I can keep them nice and simple and let the AI update and enhance it for me to get the best result. And there we have it, okay? I go to high quality. I'm going to go by 16:9 because remember, if I want to create these for talking photos and my subject, then I can do that very, very quickly. Or 9:16 for mobile. So straight away, look how quick that was. So male, females, maybe you want an actor, maybe you're creating an ad, maybe as part of your ebook or your product, your content, whatever it may be. This is how you could easily create it, and then you can utilize it. See, look, once it's done, then this kind of image, we can go straight away into Talking Photos AI, like I mentioned, import from Artistly. And then he could also be part of a story. So he doesn't need to sing or dance, but he could actually do some narration, and you can make like short feature length film or something like that. And that's it. Once you're happy with it, you just import, and then you can go back into the function, whatever you're trying to achieve. Say we're trying to do human video, maybe you want to do a podcast style one that you can do high speaking. Let's go for that one. And then create a new character. Okay, or if I'm doing human, actually, this will be probably better. New character I can use directly. Let's see. Because you have to make sure it's not too far. It has to be within the dimensions, okay? Because that looks a bit too far, so it should be closer. Otherwise, you will get told off by Talking Photos and say, "Oh, that's too far." And there we go. That's it. He can now become our character. We can make multiple clips like this. And even if you produce the clips here now, okay, this is another key one. Even if you create all these clips and they're done um, within Talking Photos, then you can actually put them into VideoExpress. You can download them, import them into VideoExpress, and you can within VideoExpress. Sorry, once they're on the timeline, we've got all these other functions you can use, like filters, where you can do camera effects, titles, green screen effect. If you want to do text animation, lower thirds, intros, outros, you want to do fast cut transitions, all of that amazing stuff too. As you would expect from a video editor, right? So last but not least, let's have a quick look. Here's our dancing character. Somebody asked to see this, so let's show it. Now, that was actually created using this image here. That was actually created by Artistly. So you can see no humans involved whatsoever. All AI created using this system that's in place by having all of these apps at your disposal. So definitely, it's something that you should consider. So all of the links will be in description, and then we'll see if we can get Paul back on, and then do a bit of a run through. Okay, so let me get that off the screen.
Yeah, I'm here. Let's answer some questions, then I'll kind of talk about some things here as well. So we were talking about basically the integrations for CloneVoice, VideoExpress, Talking Photos, and Artistly, right? So that's what we went step by step on. And of course, you can go fully in depth on it. You can use your own creativity and that sort of thing to take it up a notch. Of course, with the VideoExpress V3 update coming up next week, we're planned for next Wednesday. That's May the 6th, I believe. Let me just double check here. Yeah, May 6th, Wednesday is the release date. So we're going to have some demos and stuff in our Facebook group and that sort of thing. And also we'll do another live stream like this. We'll walk over specific features in there. I do know there's some comments coming in, so I'll answer them while we're at it. So the biggest question was Barb was asking, are we supposed to update the API keys regularly or each time we use the application? No. So once you create it, you plug that API key into these applications. So let's say you took the CloneVoice one and you put it into VideoExpress as an example, you're done. You don't have to ever touch it again. So meaning whenever you go and you clone some voices, or maybe you added some public gallery, public library, we call it, voices, these creative voices, right? Like an ogre voice or a witch or a werewolf or something. Those will show up in VideoExpress. You never have to log into CloneVoice again. And similarly, once you integrate your Artistly API key into, say, VideoExpress as an example, then again, all the Artistly images will show up in VideoExpress. You don't have to log into Artistly and put the key in again, right? It's persistent, meaning it's always going to be there. The only reason why we allow you to change them is maybe some cases, for example, you wanted to remove a key and put that back in because you want to start over again. Maybe because of that, we give you that option to do so. But if you set it up once, it's set. You don't have to touch it ever again. All right. So in terms of that question, all right. Now, the other question was in regards to like this, it will show up in my voices, but not in my cloned voices. So the question was, I believe Leah was asking where, hey, I'm in the CloneVoice application, and when I add that voice in, and then it's not fully showing up in VideoExpress. Please understand that for that voice to show up in CloneVoice, you need to add that voice in. Okay, so how that works is like when you clone a voice, you can go into my voices, and then there'll be an option for you to basically add that voice in. Okay, so let me actually pull that up to show you how quickly you can do this. So if you go into your CloneVoice application, so let's say you have your voices right under my voices. So let me just highlight this here. So under my voices here on the top right, And then you see I have my voices here, and then here you're gonna see like slick, fast talking voice, whatever, whatever. And you see you can say, favorite it obviously, but this is the option called export voices. You see, export voices like so. And then in the export voices, you're gonna select these, and then when you select this and you click on this bottom right export selected and you set proceed, that is when these voices will show up. Okay, because here you see in this toggle here as an example, if you go in here where it says export voices, like in this, which I just selected right now, right? So I'll just zoom it in so you guys and gals can see it. This one, it'll show your voices here. We don't automatically show up all your voices, meaning you see this all voices tab I just clicked, it says 20. We don't automatically add them in. The reason why we don't do that is in some cases, right? The public library voices alone are 7,000, right? Clone voices maybe at 50 or 100 or something. So if you show up all of them, you're going to keep scrolling down in VideoExpress or Talking Photos or wherever the integration is, right? For these voices. So you're going to have to select them and click on the export. Then they're going to show up here. So it'll be easier. And the same way, you can always, the other advantage of this one is because of that, you can always delete these as well. So you don't want like a voice, you don't want them to show up because there's too much scrolling up and down for you. You can delete it by clicking on this delete icon right here, and it will remove you from the exported voices. So it'll not show up in VideoExpress or Talking Photos. Okay. Hope that answers your question, because we did this so that it's not too much where you have to scroll to 7,000 voices or something. It's going to be too much of a headache for you, right? Now, in terms of this question that came in is about resizing the video in VideoExpress to add. So a couple of things on this. You can add a lower third element in VideoExpress, so as a layer, okay? So the question I believe was if I open up VideoExpress here real quick, let me actually do it. So if you have a video in the VideoExpress application, so let me show you here. So let's say you have some type of a video, like say like so, and then let's say this was the video, right? That you have. And let's say you want to add that lower third element. So you're going to see that under this text animations tab on the right. And then you can add these in like so. Like you can just select it next and put whatever text you want, like go to this link or go to www dot whatever, right? And then you can go next and it will show a preview of something like this, and you can do it this way, and just drag and drop it into the timeline. Yeah, like so. Then it will show up, like you see this, something like this. There's different ways you can play around with it. This is one of the options, obviously, right? The other one's a little bit more like just general text, but I prefer this personally, but it's up to you. You can decide. The way, though, I would recommend for advertising in particular is try to reduce the amount of text. It's a given. People understand it. When you run this as an ad, for example, they'll always be get more information or click here to get more that Facebook or YouTube or whatever would add. So that's good enough. People can click. When you have this much text, sometimes it might hurt you, then help you. Okay, depends. You got to test. Now, this one right here, what does VideoExpress 3 look like? Are you going to show it? I've actually had it prepared, but I'm going to hold off on it simply because if I show you, you'll really want to get access to it right away. It's that good. Don't want to hype it up, but it's to be honest, okay? So rather leave it for Wednesday when we release it, but also pay attention to our Facebook group. Ali was showing you the group, right? There will be posting some demos and some stuff like that, because if I show you some stuff, then you're gonna be like, okay, I want it right away, or you're gonna be like, can you do this? Can you do that? And it's gonna completely change this training into a VideoExpress training, which is not what we want to do. We want to talk about the integration side of things today, right? Specifically, because that's key. As we update VideoExpress, an Artistly update will come up after that, and of course, we have that CloneVoice update coming up soon with 400 voices. 400 languages that will be coming into CloneVoice that you're working on as well. These three will be coming back to back to back. So they'll all work together to basically help you get better results, okay, at the end of the day. Now, a couple of points on this is like I did get some questions on the lip sync feature within VideoExpress. So all these will be covered in the version 3 and will be resolved. Okay, I hear you, we hear you. The question is about like when we go into create video and we do talking photos, this feature, or even the human talking video feature, this one right here. These two are gonna be dramatically better in the case of the V3, of course, and among other things. Okay, there'll be a lot of other new features as well on top of that. So we'll be going them. The idea is that we want to finish up the tutorials page. We want to finish up with all the new tutorials, the new features, because it's a complete from scratch revamp. So for us to share one or two features right now kind of does disservice to the work we put in. We put a lot of effort on this over the past several months now. All right. Now, so just watch out. It's not much time, right? It's going to be there in a few more days. Wednesday, the May the 6th is the date. A couple of things also that I kind of wanted to mention here as well, if you will, is if you've been paying attention to our Facebook group, that I've been posting some stuff out there and stuff, and kind of from the heart in a way, but also kind of important stuff I wanted to discuss with you guys and gals out here. So one of the things that I made a post in the group because I wanted to get feedback and I want to have the community mention this stuff is I made this post yesterday and then the day before, right? So what's happening basically is if for those who are paying attention to the space, right? See, I made this post here basically where like it's basically getting crazy right now in the AI space. Okay. Big corporations are basically hoarding GPUs and these AI servers and leaving startups and small businesses like ours basically scrambling. So to give you an example, we had it recently where, let's say before, right, you have cloud providers, data centers and stuff like that, where every time you generate an image, right, or every time you do a cloned voice, or every time you generate an audio, every time you generate a video with VideoExpress or talking photos, what happens is a server gets launched, right? These are like NVIDIA AI servers, very expensive. Each one of them can cost up to $30,000 each. So we were renting some of them, we bought some of them. Some of them were month to month, some of them are per hourly and stuff. And what happened recently, one of our cloud providers literally basically said, hey, a corporation came in. I don't want to name names, but the same five Silicon Valley companies, right? And basically paid them up front for 4 years. And then they said, okay, it's too bad we don't have any availability for you. And so the last 3 months I've been scrambling, spending 80% of my time. That's why you don't see me in some of these live streams and in our Facebook group a little bit as active as it should be, because, these things are stressful, right? Because we finished the update for VideoExpress almost 2 months ago. And now we need capacity to sustain our existing users like yourself and also new users and all that stuff. And it's not even about the money. People keep asking us in our group about money and all that stuff. We have the money. And as I mentioned before, we are okay with 15% profit margins. What's happening right now in the space is like these companies want 70, 80% profit margin. So they're willing to pay upfront. They're raising a huge amount of debt. If you hear Oracle is firing a whole bunch of their employees and taking that money and then putting in more data centers and all that, right? And so two things are going to happen, okay? These are facts, okay? I'm going to tell it to you. It's going to happen. So we got the capacity after all the effort, and I made that other post here as well. That's why I want the community to understand what's happening, okay? It's in the game right now. It started happening since January this year, got really bad in February, and it's getting worse as time goes on. So the other one I made a mention on is basically this aspect, which is we're fighting for you guys and gals, all right? Because we are the only company left which still does, one-time payment, free updates, like the VideoExpress V3 coming up. It's a free update for existing customers and stuff like that. And you are our customers, right? Directly. We do these live streams, we take your feedback in, and we also have our community where we answer every question people ask and stuff like that. And so what's happening in a nutshell, if you look at it, is that you saw this, right? With some of these companies, OpenAI, Anthropic, people are so scared to bring it up. I don't care. The point is like in the beginning, they had this $20 a month plan, like so, and then they moved it into $200 a month plan. And then that has this rate limits and this and that on top, token costs and stuff like that. And what's happening is you're going to have five companies in the next couple of years, unless people like us fight back and you make a stand, right? Where what's going to happen is basically where if you have a monopoly or an oligopoly, right, what happens? They can set their own prices, right? And then once they set their own prices, they can increase it, reduce it, whatever, because their customers are their investors. And this is happening a lot more, all right? To give you an example of something that came in just yesterday, I'll kind of push this up so you can see what's happening right now, okay? So this is Microsoft. Right, this is the article. You can see it was published in April 30th, yesterday. So what this is basically is Microsoft pushes usage-based pricing as AI eats into cloud margins. Remember I told you they want 70 to 80% profit margin. 15% is not enough for their investors, right? Because the real customers, investors, right? So the key point I wanted to address here, which is what's happening right now, and this is going to happen to every company out there. Okay, this is we are probably the only one going the other side, right? We're swimming against the curve, so to speak, if you will. The idea is this is the key thing I want to mention, right? So recently they've revamped Cloud Enterprise because they've integrated with the Anthropic Claude to charge customers based on how much they use the tools on top of a flat monthly fee. Okay, rather than just charge a subscription price. See, before I would say, hey, we are a one-time payment company, and then on the other side, juxtaposing, you're gonna have a company which is basically subscription. You could come to me and say, hey, I prefer paying $50 a month or whatever. And, in some cases, they are better, they're faster, they're more professional or whatever. And then on the other hand, you could say your one time stuff is a little bit cheaper. Yes, or a lot cheaper. I get it. Yes, you hear our feedback, but you're not a big corporation, right? And I'd say fair point. Okay. Now, the irony is they want you to pay monthly, they want you to pay usage fees, and on top of that, and this is more recent, even for us, right? We've spent, just to put it in perspective, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year with cloud providers. That could be Google, that could be Amazon, that could be Microsoft or whoever. And we integrate, right, into applications like VideoExpress or Talking Photos or whatever. They started to come up with this new thing, which is called priority pricing, right? Priority pricing for API customers. So meaning this is for your companies like Perplexity or any of these companies you might have heard about, which use OpenAI or Anthropic Claude as integration, right? So what they're basically saying, and we've been facing this issue too, by the way, I'm telling you, that's why it's much more harder now, and it's only going to get harder for a lot of companies, is if you don't pay this priority pricing, okay? And I'll tell you how that works. You're going to come up, like whenever you're trying to use our application or some other application, right? It's going to say, too many people are using the application, please try again, right? And it's going to stop you. If you don't want that error to come, you got to pay for this priority pricing. To put it in perspective, let's say GPT 5.5, like I'll zoom this in right now. This is basically the API cost for OpenAI, right? Their latest model, GPT 5.5. There's a pro one, but let's just talk 5.5. Input cost is $5. And then output is $30. Okay, so that means when you input something, per million tokens is, let's say, some amount of pages, let's say 100 pages, 50 pages, whatever, of worth of text or code or whatever, or even prompts, right? Whatever it is, it's $5 and $30. Now, if you do priority pricing, pay close attention. Okay, come back, scroll down here. I'll zoom this in. Exact same thing. Okay, without long contact, GPT 5.5, $12.50, $75. Again, what was it here? $5, $30. Here, $12.50, $75. This is like more than double. This is also more than double, like almost 150% more. Okay. And this is what's happening. Okay. Your $200 a month is not enough. Your $20 a month was anyway not enough. And then on top of that, now you're gonna be basically where if you want to use it and get priority and get let's say what we call availability, right? It's gonna get 150% more expensive. So all I'm trying to say is that this is the reality of the situation because RAM pricing has gone up and hardware pricing and electricity pricing. They've been taking away, these data centers have been eating away a lot of the water and electricity and all that kind of stuff, right? So obviously supply and demand, right? And it's basically increasing all these costs. So they're passing it on to you. So what's going to happen now? We are the only company that I'm aware of who offers one-time pricing, free updates, and also on top of that, where we are not asking you to pay more money or passing on these costs to you. What does that mean then? It means, in other words, we have to do things differently from these people. We cannot rely on OpenAI where tomorrow, if this $12.50 becomes $25 and they say GPT-6, right? And this 75 becomes 150, we can't just go and say like everybody else are doing right now, and they're going to keep doing it where, hey, you paid for VideoExpress a couple of years ago. Hey, now to get the new VideoExpress update, right? Pay triple the money than before. Otherwise, we're not going to give you the update. That's what's going to start happening. And we're not doing that. I'm just saying every other company is going to do that. So the only way it's going to work is companies should say, I don't want to use OpenAI. I'm going to use my own internal stuff, right? I'm going to buy my own GPU clusters. I'm not going to be a renter. I'm going to own the infrastructure. And we've been spending millions of dollars on that over the last couple of years, particularly in the last year. But That's still not enough. You're going to have AI engineers who are going to come and say, I don't want to play this game. I'm going to go for the best solution that will be affordable for people, right? Say, look at Google, right? People will say OpenAI. No, it's different. What about Google? Google is better. Really? Okay, let's discuss that, right? So in Google, let's say like their image model, right? Gemini, this is their Nano Banana 3 model. So if you see there's this thing called standard here. Like let me zoom it in. And I'm just telling you the facts, folks. Okay, this is what you can name any company out there which does what we do in a way, but maybe they do faster updates, let's say. They're using something like this, right? They're using Google's Nano Banana or OpenAI's Codex or Anthropic's Claude or whatever behind the scenes. You're going to start seeing where an image which used to generate take 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 1 minute or 30 seconds with those platforms, they're going to start taking 30 minutes now. Why? They're going to say, oh, too bad, we're getting rate limited by these platforms because we integrate with them, right? So standard, as an example, is let's say, as you can see here, right? Output price, let's say, right? It's 24 cents per 4K image, and then 13 cents for a normal image, right? Right? See that 13 number? This again will come back with an error once you start generating more images. In Artistly, we have that batch generation, which Ali just showed you, right? Where you can generate like 50 images at once, 40 images at once. If you want that, you're going to have to get this priority thing. And again, look at this, right? To 2160, right? And $216 for images if you want priority, meaning you want to generate 50 images and you want them done in the next 10, 15 seconds. Hey, too bad. Pay the extra premium, right? $216 for that priority thing. Or you can, wait. Maybe it'll come back once or take forever. The point I'm making is that we are trying to do things very differently. Sometimes things can take a little bit longer to update, or sometimes things are doing because we're doing the hard way, right? We're not just saying, hey, Nano Banana released, go pay. They're charging you 24 cents per image. Pay us 50 cents per image or 36 cents per image or whatever, which is what everybody's doing now. You're going to start seeing unlimited thing and then pay tokens on top, right? So this is the reality, okay? So today we did the training on integrating with all our applications. I'm trying to say all the other applications going forward, everybody, because they're so lazy, or worse, they're just wanted to make quick buck because they're actual investors, only want revenue growth, they don't care, so they're going to squeeze every dime from you. You're going to see these applications and they're going to say, hey, we are getting charged by Google or by OpenAI 24 cents per image, or in this particular case, whatever, $75 per million tokens. You pay us 80, 90, 100, because how do we pay salaries? You're not going to make a profit, right? And you're going to start seeing these costs jump slowly, right? And surely enough, as time goes on. And so somebody has to make a stand, right? So in our community, that's what I've been trying to explain to everybody and get an understanding that this is only going to get worse. And what's happening is that when these situations, it's getting worse now. Imagine how bad it'll get in the future. Once these data centers are going to be built out in the next couple of years and stuff, you're going to have 5 companies, 6 companies, whatever, ruling the space. And everybody will, like us, are right now being forced to start paying these prices. We can't argue, right? Oh, you want higher throughput. Your customers are complaining. Too bad. And similarly, as you saw, probably, OpenAI also shut down their Sora platform, which was their video platform, right? So like, if you go in and you'll see right now, let me actually pull that up actually. So you'll see this, right? OpenAI shuts down Sora, right? So this was in April 26th, and then they shut down. They'll discontinue the API also on September 24th, 2026. Why? It was not worth the effort or time or money or whatever, because they want to focus on coding models or whatever. I'm just trying to say, if we were to do something like that, imagine we're like, oh, too bad, we're shutting down VideoExpress. It's going to deprecate itself on September 24th. Imagine the backlash we get, right? All our customer support and even our Facebook group and stuff, everybody yelling at us, right? So you understand, here it doesn't matter. You were already paying a monthly fee and you were renting it, right? Even if you had a bunch of projects, workflows, whatever, it's a corporation. They don't care. You're not important. So this is the situation, okay? In the past, I would say 2 or 3 years ago, if you'd have said, okay, Paul, I see your applications. Yes, you're a little bit slow in updating things and stuff because you're doing it the hard way. I get you, but I want it quickly. So therefore, I'll pay $30 a month or $40 a month or whatever to something else, and I'll get it. I'm telling you that even that is too low for them now. They want you to pay thousands of every month, okay? If you're a power user. And even that is not enough because the idea is, hey, there's nobody left. Once OpenAI left, you don't have many players in the video space either right now, right? And the few that are left are charging you by the second. So like even if you go to VO3, right? So in the case of VideoExpress, we're coming into, I wanted to mention, like we are directly competing against Google's VO3 video model, right? And so if you go into Video 3.1, their latest model, per second billing, okay? Just look at this right here. And this is what everybody will pass on to you, by the way, as time goes on. Let me actually pull this up. Where is this? Video 3. Yeah. So it's 40 cents, right? 40 cents per second. So do the math. You want to do 10 seconds, $4. You want to do a 1 minute video, multiply that by 6, $24. Okay. And here's the thing, this also doesn't come with priority generation. So you want priority generation, you have to pay extra, and that's behind a paywall. Only people like us can get access to it if we could, where we guarantee them hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend every year and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So the idea is that there's no alternative, and it's kind of sad also. I wanted to tell you folks out there as well. So we do see comments as well where like, hey, I'm a VideoExpress user. I've been waiting for an update for a while. Hey, the update was done 60 days ago, but we gotta wait because these are the situations right now we're facing where the people we were dealing with completely shut down for good, right? Where in terms of like access and some things like that, and these other folks are putting priority access, pay us more money or leave, right? It's too bad. If you don't pay, somebody else will pay, and that's the situation, right? And it's only gonna get worse. And then what's going to happen is like, and this is what's happening across the board. One of the companies we use for our cloud stuff, where we've spent tons of money with them as well. And it's just ridiculous, right? Like, you check this out, right? So we used to use this this platform right now, and I'll show you, right? So what we need to run video stuff, that's why OpenAI shut down Sora, is what's called a Blackwell architecture from NVIDIA, right? Which is this B200s, right? You see, completely sold out. You can't even take a single one. In January, you could say, hey, I want to rent it for a week. I can rent it for a month. Hey, I'll pay hourly for it. You see this hourly price. Now even money is not enough. They're gone. It's done. Because these companies came in and said, we'll pay upfront for 4 years. The same 5 companies pay us. They're like, okay, fine, we might as well work with a corporation than some smaller company, right? And it's done. You see, you can't get any one of these with a B on it, right? B200 gone, B4, B200, this one's gone, right? So all you have is this junk A10s and A100s from like 2019. They were 2020, right? Nothing can run there. It's too slow, and stuff like that. So you see the point. It's not even about the money anymore. It's about availability, access. It's about understanding where we are headed. So the understanding from you, I'm trying to say, is that we're doing the hardest job in the world, which is to eliminate ourselves from getting into the grasp of these monopolies and these oligopolies. We don't want to play their game, right? The only side effect of that is that sometimes things will take a little bit longer. Sometimes what we will do is we'll focus on your feedback, and we'll do, let's say, one of the comments that came in was, will the lip sync be improved for VideoExpress? We hear you. That will be the number one biggest focus for VideoExpress, right? In that case of two people talking, lip sync, and some of those things. And so we've spent enormous amount of time there. Like, we're not gonna waste our time into trying to make VideoExpress, do this one obscure thing or some line art type video it does well or something. But we'll focus on the key elements where we know we can invest that time to do the research and development and that optimization to get the best result. Similarly, and because of the fact that we're doing the harder job of making sure that the updates are free, the idea is we want your support as well on this stuff, okay? So that you can understand, right? Like when Ali was posting, right? He was like, hey, all our applications are in Pono.com, whatever. Any application you buy, like if I pull up my screen, right? Any one of these applications you buy, you're helping our development team, right? If you bought CloneVoice, it only means VideoExpress will improve better. If you bought Artistly, same thing, right? Talking Photos would improve because every dollar we're reinvesting back. We're okay at 10, 15% profit margin. We don't care about 75, 80, 90%, right? Like these companies want. But at the end of the day, though, with the way things are going and people being too afraid, like nobody has the guts to single out these companies. How can you somehow say, right? Like just this priority pricing thing, right? How can you just say like you signed a contract, like we got stuff for you, and then now you suddenly say you want GPT 5.5 and you want the priority thing, which is this, you pay us 150% more, right? More than double, right? and we just change the reality. You take it or you leave it, because we are the only players. Like right now in the AI model space, it's Anthropic or OpenAI. That's it. Anthropic Claude or OpenAI Codex for coding, right? So, or any kind of tech stuff or agentic workflow stuff even we were using. So now we have to think outside the box, because we can't pass on this kind of a cost with you. You'll laugh at us and you'll say, hey, that's not fair, right? So it's much harder. It takes more time from our end. So what I'm saying is that as time goes on, you'll realize that we'll be the only company doing what we're doing. And as time goes on, you will realize that you will see every other company facing this reality where if they're raising venture capital or whatever to sustain at a loss, you're going to start seeing they'll start disappearing, right? These smaller companies, medium-sized companies who might say unlimited pays $20 a month disappears in like 3 or 4 months. You'll start seeing like companies which are like, oh, okay, we updated it with this newer video stuff from Kling or Seed Dance and stuff. Oh, by the way, pay us more money, or you want us to help you out. It's going to take you 1 hour to generate one 10-second video. Too bad. You take it or leave it, right? And that's the situation that's going to happen, meaning nothing will be usable anymore unless you're willing to pay thousands of dollars. How does it make sense, right? Like imagine you're buying a car, right? And it costs the car company, whether it's Mercedes or Ford or whatever, let's say $20,000 to manufacture it, and they're selling it to you for 15,000. How does that make sense? Eventually, they'll go bankrupt. That's what's happening right now from all these so-called companies. And to make things worse, the manufacturing cost. Let's say it's not 20,000. They suddenly change it and say for priority access, it's 45, 50,000 now, and you are still at that 15,000 price. Something will break, right? And that's what's happening, and that's what will start happening. And we've planned for this. We know where the future is headed, and we don't want to play this game. So our updates might be slower, but we will protect you. We will fight for you, right? We already got the capacity for a couple more years. We directly work with NVIDIA to get the GPU service. We bought them up front. We didn't rent them. Secondly, we work with data centers to put them up and pay for that, contracts for them and all that. It's hard work, It'd be so much fun to just say, oh, okay, we are like every other company, GPT 5.5, Google VO3, okay, it's 40 cents. Let's just put it into our application and charge people 50 cents. We'll make our 10 cents on the top, right? And that means when you're using our application, it's going to cost you $5 for like a 10-second video, right? It's crazy, right? And that is what's happening across the board, right? There's no alternative out there, and we're the last one left. And I wish it was where we could say other companies have the guts or even at least the honesty to be transparent why they're jacking up these prices. Why are they like suddenly putting hidden tiers and hidden limits and parallel generation limits and token limits and this and that, right? At the end of the day. And this is the situation, okay? And things are gonna get worse because nobody's fighting back, nobody's saying anything. So what's gonna happen? These 5, 6 companies are gonna say, fine, I'm Elon, I can raise $100 billion, I'll buy all the data center space for myself. I am Zuckerberg, I'll do the same thing. I am Microsoft, I'll do the same thing, whatever, 5, 6, 7 companies. And then we'll all be basically relying on them. And that's gonna make things even worse, right? So just trying to put things in perspective, folks. When you're in the AI space, we can argue all day long, hey, jobs are going away, we got to be AI native, we got to be more productive. We are training you on that. I'm trying to tell you that because of the cost going up like crazy out of control, we are actually coming into a situation where at the end of the day, for you to do anything useful, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars, right? And so what we are saying is to save you the thousands of dollars and the headache, where even if you spend that 40 cents with VO 3.1 or whatever per second and generate that $4 clip, there's no guarantee that clip is good, right? You may have to regenerate, and that'll cost you $40 now because 10 clips, only one was good, or maybe 2 are usable. And so what happens now? It's too expensive. You wanted to get into the AI space because you wanted to get things done faster, cheaper, better. Now, the faster might be true, might not be true, depends, but the cheaper ain't cheap anymore, right? Compared to say an Adobe subscription in the past, which is $20 a month or $30 a month or whatever, right? So things are changing, okay? And so just keep this in mind when we develop these applications, and when we say these integrations are being done, when we say VideoExpress version 3 is coming and it's substantially better than V2, a lot of work is being done behind the scenes. It's not where we just did like one day worth of work where we put some prompts and we updated it, where we integrate with some company and we're ready to go, right? It's more like, hey, We don't want to rely on an OpenAI. We don't want to rely on an Anthropic. We don't want to rely on like a Kling or a Seedance or some of these companies where they're charging $4 for a 10-second video in the end or stuff and pass on stuff. How do we do it where we can match the quality in specific use cases such that the users, which we care about you, right? The customers can get the best value, but also be able to believe that they're owners, not renters of our application, right? And so, hey, it's a tough mission, but at the end of the day, it's much bigger than just for us to make a little bit of profit here and there, right? And when you folks come into these live streams, you need to be told the truth. This is why I'm not afraid to say, hey, VideoExpress's lip sync could be way better. It's not as good. I'm not happy about it, and that's why we're going to fix it with version 3. There was this point that came in, which is, and I was not afraid to show you that comment either, because a lot of people will hide it. See, like this one right here, how do you stop person walking backwards and forwards in VE? This happens with our old lip sync system. With the new one, you'll not face this issue. I hear you, right? But the thing is, to solve an issue like this, it's not just about us putting a bunch of programmers or me or Ali is just sitting and testing and fixing it, but it's about understanding deep tech stuff now, where we have to waste time negotiating with a bunch of data centers and NVIDIA and all these other companies to get the capacity for you, right? And you need money. You need a lot of money, you need time, you need patience, and you need negotiating capabilities, right? It's not just one or two things. And it's not even us like, oh, we're gonna, we need money or anything, right? We have a lot of money. I've been doing this stuff for over 17 years, 20 years actually, building stuff on the internet and everything else, right? And the next year will be 20, actually. 2027 will be 20 years. So we've been in the space, ups and downs and everything else, right? So it's not about like, oh, we're gonna go out of business or whatever. But I'm just trying to say, it's like, it's not a fair game, right? And it's a completely rigged system. And it's rigged because they know that an OpenAI or a Google or an Anthropic, they know that over time, the competitiveness that they have in the playing field is not going to be much, right? So what will be competitive for them is they hold all the data centers, all the electricity, all the capacity, such that companies like us will have to rely on them because we cannot get any capacity. It's like, for example, you're trying to buy a house, and corporations buy all the houses, and they pay 30, 40, 50, 100% more than what you're willing to pay by raising money in the public markets or debt or whatever from your own bank that you bank with. Then what happens? Because it's 100% more expensive, the same bank that gave them money ain't going to give you money, right? Because the housing prices have gone up so much. Same is happening here, right? The capacity is limited. You can't print data centers, right? You gotta construct them. You need concrete, you need steel, you need water cooling, all this stuff. It takes 2 years to 3 years to get all this stuff done. So what they're doing is taking up all of them. So what we are taking and we're doing is optimization work. How do we make sure that the capacity we're doing, we can handle the users? We're doing all the hard work, right? And it's a tough job, but it must be done, right? And the only way is you have to say no, right? For us to be able to win this game, is you have to say no to all these platforms that are just reselling a Kling or a Seedance or an Anthropic or an OpenAI stuff, and then saying, okay, pay extra premium on that. If you say no to these companies and say, hey, we are not going to pay a monthly fee, and on top of that a credit system, and on top of that pay extra for priority generation and all this stuff, we will reject it. They will come to their senses, right? Because then they'll say, oh, 90% profit margin is not good enough. We're getting backlash. Well, let's stick to 60. And something will happen, If not, at the end of the day, it's worthwhile fight to get you folks the best value possible. And so we have a couple of years of runway in terms of the data centers and everything else set up. So you don't have to worry about it. But just keep in mind that we're doing the hard work. We're doing the very, very hard job of making sure that the value proposition is clear. And we also are doing a very hard job here of making sure that we and you by turn are not reliant on these monopolies and oligopolies. Because of that, it'll be giving you like a peace of mind, right? That, hey, tomorrow Paul is not going to just jack up prices because everybody else is doing, he'll be doing it the same way, right? We're going to make sure that, when we promise you, we'll do our very best, to the best of our ability, to the end, right? Never giving up, with the mission of making sure you buy once. You got VideoExpress a couple of years ago, V3 will be free. Even if it costs us more money, even if it costs us more time, more development resources, doesn't matter. When we do these integration training, same logic applies, okay? So just want to tell you that if you're in agreement with that, let us know. Even in the comments after this live stream is done, you can let us know, because I just want you to know that it's getting worse. It's not getting better, and you need people who'll take the blame. And there are fewer and fewer people there. Meaning, if somebody complains in the Facebook group, hey, your lip sync is not good. Ali will listen, I listen, Sid is going to listen, other people, Yash in our team, everybody else will listen, and we'll be like, okay, well, let's work on fixing it, right? These faceless, nameless corporations, what they will do, or even the resellers of them, they will just say, oh, you want better quality lip sync? Pay more money, right? Easy as that. We didn't promise you that it will be included before, so now this newer stuff will cost you more money. Why? Because we're doing the same thing. We're taking the easy route. Yeah, we're just paying Google more money or integrating with them or whatever, right? And that's what's happening. So just keep this in mind, okay? Because at the end of the day, for success, right? You got to have peace of mind first. And you got to have that ability to where you feel like, okay, somebody cares about you, which I do. And the third thing being that, hey, we do these live streams to give you the value, sure, but also tell you the facts, okay? And when you yell at us saying, hey, something is not working, we will listen, and we will take constructive criticism, and we will work on improving things. Will it take a little bit longer than others? Yes, because of this other story behind this whole mess that's occurring right now, okay? Meaning what we could have done 2 months ago, we have to release next week, which is more than 60 days late. Why? Because of all this hoarding that's happening, where they're making it harder and harder for us, right? And just you need to know this context so that you can remember that next time around. Paul told you, I told you this is happening and it's getting worse. And then so when you were paying $200 a month to somebody and now it's $500 and it suddenly increased, you know what happened. When you had somebody who promised you, some other company where it's unlimited, and you start seeing that, oh, you can only generate one video at a time and it takes you 30 minutes to 45 minutes for that video to generate or that image to generate. For Artistly, we allow you to do 50 images at once. That was a challenging thing for us to do, to make that possible for you. Maybe is Artistly as good as Nano Banana Pro that released maybe 2 weeks ago? It will be as the next update we do, but understand that it would be easy for us to just say we integrate a Nano Banana, pay extra money. That's what everybody's doing, right? And they're forced to do it, in fact, even the good people, right? Because it's much cheaper to just do that and just get some money than it is to do the hard work, right? Because the hard work is uncertainty. You got to do research and development. You got to match the quality. You got to work which use cases it works properly and stuff. As an example, for the VideoExpress lip sync we have coming up next, we had to test it in other languages like German, French, Italian, and Hindi, and Arabic, and some of these other languages. Will that lip sync work properly? The new lip sync system that we brought in. And that takes an extra 3-4 weeks. You think these big corporations care? They're like, they'll release something, you should test it. You'll see a bunch of these influencer people they're paying money on. They'll say, oh wow, this is the game changer, this is the best lip sync ever. When you go in, you spend that $15 for that 30-second video, and you find out, hey, it's not working in the language I want. So just these things are becoming important, okay? Attention to detail, not just breadth of knowledge where you just heard something, but like the depth of knowledge where you know deep down what's happening. And these things you have to understand, because that'll give you an edge in the marketplace. Tomorrow when you have VideoExpress by your hands, you're dealing with people who are paying $15 for a 30-second video, and you don't have to. That gives you a big advantage. Tomorrow when you're using Artistly to generate 50 images at once and an entire storybook, and people are paying 25 cents per image, that gives you an edge, right? And same thing with CloneVoice or Talking Photos, same logic, right? And that's why we're making sure that they're all integrated with each other, so you don't have to move around multiple applications, okay? So that is the reality of the situation, and you'll see this, okay? And it'll get worse, and when you come back, just understand that somebody here is telling you the truth, somebody's being transparent, somebody's willing to tell you when a feature in our application sucks, which nobody wants to mention or are afraid to say, but that, hey, you have somebody who will listen, somebody who will take time but get it done, and more importantly, somebody who cares, even if it's at a loss for us at that period of time, because it's not just about money anymore, right? It's about understanding that the game is such that it's going to be us versus these 5 or 6 corporations. That's it. The game is very simple. And if the future you feel should be in the hands of these 5 corporations, like we saw with the oil companies and the tobacco companies and all these other companies in the past, where they will rewrite rules for themselves for their benefit, or you want companies like us to be in the game to succeed, then you make a call, right? And you need to be demanding. When somebody raises your prices, some competitor that you're using of ours, tell them upfront, hey, why are you doing? Video Express didn't raise the price. Talking Photos didn't do it. Artistically didn't do it. Why are you asking me to pay extra tokens? You should ask them. Then they'll listen and they'll understand that there is backlash for what they're doing, right? And it has to come through you as well. I alone cannot do this. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to tell that here, because the game is very straightforward now for every one of you. Because we're doing the hard work, the workflows that we'll teach you will be the cheapest, fastest, and the best you can achieve in the marketplace, because we've tested everything. We test the best stuff, we spend the money, right? And we always constantly innovate ourselves. And we spend millions of dollars in advertising every single year, and tens of thousands of dollars every single day in many cases. So we're testing stuff, what works, what doesn't work. So when we put a feature in the application, we know, we've done the research already, that this is the best for the price you can get. But more importantly, it's going to be sustainable long term. And on top of that, you can be rest assured that we've tested it in multiple languages, we've tested it across different scenarios, and we looked at different problems that could arise ahead of time, such that you don't come in and like, consistent character is now working, for example. I can generate a 10-second clip, but the other 10 seconds just doesn't make any sense, right? Stuff like this. So just wanted to mention that. So when people come in and watch this live stream later on, please comment and let us know, show your support here as well. We really appreciate it as well, because please understand, things are getting super bad out there, okay? Like in terms of how these companies are behaving, how greedy these folks are becoming. And at the end of the day, I admit, maybe Video Express might not be as good as Seed Dance 2, which is the best model today. But with the update, it'll be as good as it can get, right? As good as VO3 and stuff. But that'll take us time, because we're not just passing on the cost to you, correct? And as time goes on, you can be rest assured we're doing our best to get you the best stuff, best value possible. And we're doing the most challenging job in the world, okay? And it's painful, when we see comments sometimes and stuff like, hey, I've been waiting for Video Express update since, let's say, February, but which I did announce, but like I don't reply in the group because I don't have an answer when we're going to get capacity, because they took it underneath us, literally. And we had it completely logged in. I'm ready to go. And then suddenly we're like, oh, it's sold out. I'm like, how is it sold out? Like you gave it to us, you promised us. They're like, too bad, it is what it is. And just like how they shut down Sora, tomorrow they're going to shut down some other things. You're going to be left holding the bag. Nobody cares, right? You're just like one out of millions of people that they can deal with. So just wanted to mention that. Just keep this in mind. When we're coming up with the Video Express update, you will see the attention to detail, the amount of effort put in to get some of those intricate details done, the amount of effort more so in making sure that we can sustain the amount of users we already purchased 2 years ago and stuff like that. It's not just like telling people to buy more and buy more stuff or whatever, okay? So that is basically what I wanted to mention here as time goes on. And please keep this in mind, and you fight back when you see people raising prices on you in other places, in other platforms and stuff. If you don't do it, right, and if you don't become vocal on this stuff, people will just feel like, hey, OpenAI doubled my prices. Okay, I'm gonna double the prices and add an extra markup on top. People have no choice, because they want OpenAI, they want Anthropic, they want whatever, right? And they will pay the price because there's no other alternative. Take it or leave it, right? And now you have to decide, okay, is this the game I want to play? Like, am I going to pay this kind of money to just get started? And if you think that way, you're going to give up, right? If you're thinking like it's going to cost me $200 or something to create like one well done 1 minute, 1.5 minute YouTube video, let's say, for publishing, and that YouTube video fails, which could happen, right? Because volume is what matters. Now what you're gonna do? You're gonna give up, because you're like, I don't want to spend another $150 for something I'm not sure. And then you could have tried, you gave up, and then what's gonna happen? It's only gonna help the people who already have money, right? It's gonna help people with businesses and stuff who already have a lot of cash or monopolies in their space. They'll spend that money, and then you're gonna be left behind, right? It's a fact, okay? It's just the way things are headed right now. You see it, right? You see it in your electricity bills. You see it in your energy bills. You see it in every aspect of your life. They say inflation is 2%. I mean, is it really? Look at food prices and all that. What's happening? These data centers are creating this artificial, like, for example, demand, where, your plumbers or electricians and all these other folks or blue collar folks who would be working, say, fixing your house or fixing your local government stuff to fix your roads or your infrastructure, are now going and getting paid more money to work in data centers. Then what happens? That's the situation. So these folks will say, okay, the data center is paying me double the amount of money, I'm going to go there. So now you want to get your power grid fixed, too bad, pay us double the money. The government is going to jack up the price. It's what's happening across the board, right? And it's only going to get worse on this. And we are in a layer where we are the most susceptible to it because, for example, nobody's sitting there today and saying, OpenAI increased my prices by 150% is the least of your concerns than your electricity bills or your water bills or stuff, correct? So nobody's prioritizing it. But somebody has to tell you what's happening, where the reality of the situation is, and you got to make a call, educated call for yourself, okay? So the edge we see is that we're different from everybody else. We're doing the different stuff, and you can also see that edge. But as time goes on, you'll start seeing it. Okay, you'll see it in how your results are. You'll start seeing it in the confidence you'll have that, hey, I don't have to spend a couple of $100 to get one usable video or something. I don't have to go and spend extra credits to use a lip sync model. I don't have to go spend extra tokens for like a special prompt enhancement thing or something. You don't have to worry about all that, right? Because we're doing all that work for you. And so at the end of the day, it's going to be a huge benefit for you. And as time goes on, the gap will increase because the few companies are getting into each other's space now. These 3 or 4 big companies like OpenAI, Anthropic is going into the coding space. They're going into the video space, the image space, and this and that. Like, what happens is like the companies out there which are trying to resell their services are going to start dying. You can't compete when you're trying to resell the same stuff the other person is charging and trying to make money on, right? It's just not possible. So anyway, so that's the reality. So watch out for the Video Express version 2 update, and also watch out for the training we're gonna version 3. Sorry, watch out for the training we're gonna be having, and also watch out for the use cases we're gonna be having because we've mapped that out over the last almost 8 months now. And the goal will be all these integrations will also get elevated with it, correct? Along with these updates, okay? So that's the basic idea behind this training also and coming up as well. Because one reality you will learn is that the people in the trenches right now, like us, actually doing this stuff day to day and feeling the pain where it matters, are the people who can predict the future better, correct? Like we know what's going to happen 6 months from now, 1 year from now, because we know what, these corporate contracts get signed for a couple of years, right? So we know, okay, somebody signed a contract today, what's going to happen 2 years from now, a year from now? You can kind of predict, you can see the patterns. So what we're seeing is that that's going to be what will set us apart, and we'll be the only ones fighting for you, okay? I'm just being honest, okay? Nobody else. I talk to so many companies out there and I keep telling them, they're like, hey, I don't want to do the work because what happens if my customers who are paying me a monthly fee of $20 a month right now, they don't get the Seed Dance or Kling or OpenAI Anthropic GPT 5.5 or something, the new stuff, they will leave me. So I'll just add it in, but then I'll ask them to pay more money. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, also, I can't do much, right? It's not my problem. And if they want to cancel, they can cancel. They want to pay more money, let them do it. And because my investors want me to do that, because I don't care about the customers. I don't care because unfortunately I need the money, right? And what's happening with the money this year? What's going to happen is OpenAI, SpaceX, and Anthropic will go have their IPOs this year, right? Trillions of dollars. Now, all the money will go to them, okay? These 3 companies this year, which means all these so-called startups doing the same stuff I told you will disappear because they ain't gonna get any more money because all the money will go to the IPO or like the public markets of these 3 companies this year because all the investors will go there, right? And so that's what's gonna happen, and everybody's expecting that to happen as well. So yeah, so keeping all these facts in mind, understand that don't be worried when we say, hey, updates will take a little bit longer. They will take longer, but we have your best interest at heart. And don't be worried that when these other companies are going to be shutting down, we are not going to do the same because we've been prepared for that reality ahead of time, right? Like many months ago, really. So when that reality sinks in for these other companies, once they run out of money from investors, that's what's going to happen. They're going to disappear or shut down or charge more money, right? These are only 3 options available. No new options will come up. So just saying, these are where we are headed, okay? Now, you have to make the call now and understand that, hey, I see where the future is headed. So, normally, right, one of the things that people always say is like, am I missing the train, right? Am I too late to go into something like this AI space and stuff? I'm trying to tell you that this is probably the best time you can get into it. It's simply because of the edge you have with the tools we're bringing you, the training we're doing for you, and stuff like that. And on top of that, the beauty here is that the use cases, right? We're gonna tell you like, okay, we're spending millions of dollars in advertising, and our YouTube channel, for example, alone got like hundreds of millions of views in many cases. Very few people can do that, right? So because of that, we have data. So we know what's working, what style of videos are working. We'll only focus on that. We are not going to build this big GPT 5.5 or Sora or whatever model or algorithm where, it'll work for every single specific use case when you'll only use it for, like, say, lip sync, or you're only going to use it for specific viral videos, or you're going to use it specifically for using your face and your voice, let's say, specific cases like that, right? And we will focus on that. We'll make it as great as possible there, and it'll only make it better, compounded every week, every day, every month, and it'll get there, right? And it'll be as great as possible. Will it be 100% good in every single scenario? Probably not, right? Obviously, but you'll be rest assured that these other people who are spending hundreds of dollars, they can't compete with you, right, for one video, because you can beat them in volume. What they will do in maybe one, you're going to do with hundreds, right? With volume. And that's what the goal is with these integrations and everything. That's where we're headed, okay? So yeah, just wanted to tell you this. Be prepared for VideoExpress 3 coming up next week. More details will be shared in our Facebook groups, as well as also I'll be emailing you as well an update. We're doing a live stream like this one on next Wednesday, May the 6th. So that will cover the main use cases, main features. Right now, the goal is to revamp all the tutorials. Right now, the goal is to do all kinds of cool things behind the scenes to make it ready to go so that you can start using it right away and watch the short tutorials and stuff. And then get you some specific case studies and use cases you can replicate and start using right away. So rather than, going there and staring at a blank screen and not knowing what to do, because we really built it from the scratch, right? So yeah, that is the goal. So Ali, if you want to have any last pressing words, you can add in. Maybe you saw some comments that you want to answer. Then we'll call it a day so that people can be prepared for the next big update coming up.
Yeah, seen majority of the comments are just huge support and saying what can we do to help people. So it's very it's
Yeah,
nice. It's reinforcing everyone's
yeah.
behind you. So 100%.
Yeah, I'll answer that question. That's a good point. What can you do to help us out? See, we don't need money or anything. If you can buy any of our tools, let's say you don't have any tool of ours, just buy it to help us out. We don't launch often. Last time we launched CloneVoice was like almost 9 months ago. We've been updating stuff. So if you ever release anything new, just help us out by buying it. Really, that's the best we can do, because at the end of the day, you paying us, let's say, $5 extra per month or whatever, ain't gonna help anything. Simply because at the end of the day, the way we work as an ecosystem is when people buy multiple tools, then we can, juggle together the resources to update each of them, right? And it makes more sense. So don't worry about that. The biggest help you can do is understand where the future is headed and take advantage in your own life. And secondly, push back, right? When you see any company, any competitor, whether it's ours or it doesn't matter, wherever, and they start playing tricks like this, where priority queue, where, hey, too many people are using it at once, too bad, come back again later, or pay us double the money. You see these kind of tricks being played, shady things like this, you start pushing back, because they're doing it on purpose, okay? They have the capacity. It's not like they don't. What they realize is that, hey, we're making a loss here. So how do we make that profit? Oh, this person really is desperate. They need it right now. They have a project they have to publish right now, whether it's a video, whatever. Now is the time you get them, because they're gonna pay. Because there's no other alternative, right?
Mhm.
That's the thing you gotta do. Then they'll listen, and then they'll change. And when they change, it's for the better for everybody. If they don't change, hey, at least it's out there, right? It's transparent. Like the deal is like that, because everybody's so afraid to bring it up. They're like, oh, I might be acquired by OpenAI or Anthropic or whatever, right? These big companies. So I don't want to rattle anybody, any of these corporations. I don't want to name them. I'm too scared. Hey, I'm just presenting the facts. You can't debate facts, okay? Nobody brought up parallel generation limits. Nobody brought up rate limits. Nobody, when you started, did you expect like a new priority queue system with this double the cost just to use the application, right? And get stability where it'll work when you ask it, rather than saying try again. Would that be in place? I didn't expect it. I'm sure you haven't as well. So when you push back, and you tell them, hey, that's not fair. Like, we paid for this and it's not fair. Then they'll start taking heed, and at least there'll be something, right? Those are the two things. You can buy our tools, you can help our community out, obviously. And third thing is push back when you see it, not just us or competitors and stuff, because just like how we are responsible when something goes wrong and you have somebody to blame and something is not good or some feature is not good, same way when they play all these shenanigans where they're like, oh, we introduced Seed Dance 2.0, pay us extra money, like $1 per second or $1 per 8 seconds, whatever, right? Pay us, or too bad, you ain't gonna get the best stuff. Then you should be like, why am I paying you $200 a month or $100 a month when all you're really doing is reselling stuff from these other companies and claiming you're the best, right? You're not the best. You're not doing the hard work. You're literally passing on somebody else's work and then adding a markup on it and just reselling it to me. You should be upfront about that stuff then, right? You should tell them like, hey, am I so dumb where I can't like go and get it directly from ByteDance, get that Seed Dance thing or whatever? It's not hard. Like, you could do that if you want. Why should I pay extra, or like Kling or VO3 or GPT, whatever? So from our end, like, we're doing our best to ensure like, hey, we're gonna give you the best stuff. But why aren't they? They have more resources than us. They have more money than us. They have a bigger team than us, and in many cases, they have better connections than us. Why aren't they doing it? Well, because it's fast. It's easy. It's fast. Easy to just say, hey, I integrated this thing in, do it, take it, leave it, my revenue will go up, I'm done, right? I don't have to go and sit and test some 100 different solutions, go do research and development, which there's no guarantee of a result, right? There's no guarantee lip sync is going to be dramatically better or not. So why should I take the risk, right? It's just going to be something where I'm not sure yet. So you can make that case, okay? And once you do that, people will start noticing, people will make a change, and every little thing adds up, right? Every little pushback adds up. Back in the day with the tobacco companies, the same thing happened. When people push back saying, hey, you cannot just say smoking is healthy, right? You cannot do that. And they made a case, and people said this is not fair, even though the law at that time allowed advertising to say so, right? Pushback came, and people learned. They're like, okay, we put disclaimers in there. We put basically you're more careful, right? And we don't sell it to kids and stuff like that. That's what happened because some people fought back. This is what we are trying to do here. We're fighting back against like this price gouging, I would say, to be honest. Okay, and so we will probably make a dent if we keep doing it, right, without giving up, like little by little every day. So that's another reason why I don't want to make this point across. Every little thing will make a change, right, in the end. And it's at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, if they say AI is for everybody, it should be accessible to everybody, then it should be affordable to everybody as well. You cannot just say like it's only for the people who can spend thousands of dollars a month, and only for the people who have the money already to spend it. And and then what's going to happen again? It's going to go up to the corporations again, right? Who can spend that money to get that benefit from AI, let's say. Then what's going to happen again? The same thing we discussed. They're going to jack up the prices, make accessibility hard. They're going to say, don't do this. We tell you what you should or shouldn't do, and then there ends the matter, right? So yeah, it's a vicious circle, right? And it's been frustrating actually. For the last 3 months, I've been trying to explain this to people, but I wanted to come with an actual solution rather than just saying this is the problem. The solution I'm saying is the hard work of trying to do it where R&D is done in house. You do it where actually you create solutions that doesn't rely on a GPT or Anthropic and stuff. The solution is where you figure out specific solutions that you are good at, right? Where you can optimize things for it. So if we only focus on lip sync, making it better, if you only focus on, making a video with high fidelity, let's say, only focusing on maybe voice cloning and making the voice cloning better, right? And now we're focusing on coding, for example, or not focusing on, for example, some esoteric thing, right? Like these guys keep doing, like a social media platform with Sora, for example, and that kind of stuff. Then we are specialized in those 3 or 4 or 5 good things that we can do the best in the market. Then at the end of the day, that's what the solution is, right? And you'll see it once VideoExpress 3 releases next week. You'll see the work put in and what we've done to solve it. So it's much better I explain to you what the problem is and how we've solved it, right? And other people, either they'll complain, they'll ignore, or other companies will just play the game as is because right now they feel that's good enough, and then they'll pay the price eventually because they're literally signing their own death warrant, right? In a way where like you pay Anthropic, OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, these big companies, effectively they're competing in the same space, right? People will be sharp enough to figure out that I can go directly to Google or I can go directly to OpenAI and stuff. And then where are these other companies in the middle? Nowhere, right? They're literally the money that you're spending with them and the money they're, doing it effectively goes back to OpenAI, goes back to Anthropic, goes back to these companies, and then effectively they're competing against them, taking their market share, and these companies will disappear, right? And that's the reality. It doesn't sink in yet for them, but it's going to happen. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, just wanted to mention that be aware of it. Awareness is more important, right? You got to understand what's happening. You understand what the game is being played, how the game is being played, how it's being rigged, and you'll understand now then how do you win also. Okay. And that's what we've been doing for the last 4 months or so. And as time goes on, I'll simplify this with more solutions for you and try to explain it in more clearer terms how we've solved it in specific applications and stuff and workflows we built for you and all that. And you will start seeing a clear picture which direction to go, and that I think is more important than anything, because otherwise you'll have anxiety. You spend your hard-earned dollars, your time also on some stuff, and then they pull it out of your fee where it's cost you more money now, or like you cannot use the application much because you're a heavy user now, you got to pay more money, or you start seeing some of these rugs being pulled underneath you. Then you can start noticing, hey, I know I expected this to happen and I saw it's clear now, and you can't play these games with me, right? And you'll be aware of it, and it will actually help you than hurt you at that point. Okay, that's the goal of this, really, not to scare you or anything, because you have the solution anyway, right? It was hard, but got the solution through, and it's only gonna make it separate from these guys who are pretty shady, in my opinion, in what they're doing, unfortunately. Okay, so anyway, that's pretty much it for this live stream. So watch out for that next update for VideoExpress 3 next Wednesday, May the 6th. It's gonna basically the goal for that one we're playing is that there are gonna be video tutorials and everything ready to go, so you can watch it because it's a ground up update. After that, we're gonna do Artistly, because maybe a couple of weeks after that or so, because we are doing the same logic behind it as well to improve it. And then CloneVoice, of course, one of those two will come right after each other. CloneVoice, we're doing 400 different languages, voice cloning, and some other cool things there. So then you see how everything will get elevated now, right? You can do videos in 400 languages at that point. You can do, which no other platform can support at this point. Most of them are 60, 80 voices, right, for voice cloning and generation. And then same thing with VideoExpress, same thing with Artistly, and all that kind of stuff as well, where everything will be elevated and it helps you get the end result. And the best way you can support us is, yeah, keep coming live streams, can keep posting in our Facebook group and communicating with everybody else. And of course, just be cognizant, right? Be aware of what's happening, because the tricks they're playing, if you know what tricks are being played, you'll be aware of it, and you can say, I don't want to do business with you, or I see what you're doing, and then you can fight back, and they'll either change or they will come to terms, right? And you'll have a better, better way of dealing with these things. Otherwise, you'll be completely confused where to do, what to do, and what's the right way to approach this, and all that kind of stuff, which is what I felt for the last 4 months or so, to be honest. And so at least there's a light at the end of the tunnel now, right? Where we can see, okay, where we are headed, and it's going to be a little bit painful. It's going to be harder for us, but if we are the only player, I'm confident that we can beat them at their own game, because then it's going to be us versus them, much more easier proposition, right? We'll be better at customer support. We're going to be better at looking at your feedback, like what you're doing right here. We'll be better at putting a face to the name and the brand. So like you buy VideoExpress, you can blame Paul or Ali or something. You have somebody to go after, right? So that way we feel, oh, sorry, I hear you. You're trying to get in touch with me. You're not happy about it. I'll fix it. Nameless, faceless corporation, try to go after them, right? Nobody cares. Your message is one of thousands. They don't care. They'll have AI responses. We're seeing that now, where like people have customer support teams where it's AI generated responses. People don't even care. Like you send a message and then you get an AI generated response, and then they go and tell their investors, we've automated our support. I'm saying, how do you improve something when a human is not even reviewing the suggestions on how to improve it, and AI is doing it? That is the most critical thing, right? Somebody spend money with you, something is wrong or something can be improved, a human has to review that. And if you eliminate that with AI, then at the end of the day, there's no improvement that's going to happen that is of customer value, it's all going to be based on what the bosses upstairs thinks is best for the investors, right? Whatever will make them the most profit. So that's the other thing, ironically. So many ways, if you think about it, they're messing things up in a way for this AI revolution they claim at this point in time. So it's good. We know what's happening. We can be prepared for it, and we will win. At the end of the day, because we have clarity on how to play the game, right? And so win we shall. Let's say, hopefully as things go in our direction. Okay. So thanks again for being here. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Every single person coming in, every person posting comments, every person who buys our tools, every person who doesn't even buy our tools but comments and helps everybody in our Facebook group, every person who's critical of us and suggests like, hey, you improve this feature. Every single thing we appreciate. It'll only help us get better than these competitors at the end of the day, because that's the best way we can improve and focus on what's important, right? So really, really, really do appreciate each and every one of you in that sense. And thank you so much for the support as well across the board in this chat, in our Facebook group, and everywhere else we've been having this discussion, because this is not going to end, right? It's going to continue on, and somebody has to expose this nonsense that's been happening across the board. So I'll be having more to tell there, of course, and what the solution is as well. Okay, not just the bad stuff, but also what's the solution. So thanks again. We'll be in touch. Look forward to seeing you next week with our brand new update for VideoExpress. Thank you.